I've already shown you how to do a knife hand side strike in lesson number 7. And if you remember, the strike moves like this in an outward direction. For an inward strike, as the name suggests, the strike will move in an inward direction. And it can be done in most stances. And if you're doing it in a stance such as walking stance or parallel stance, your body will be full facing. And as with all inward strikes, the attacking tool will end up on the chest line. So the knife hand is on the chest line, and if it's a high strike, the fingertips will be at eye level. So it will look like this. But I'm going to show you how to do it in L stance because that's how it's done in pattern 1-yard-tool, which I'll be covering very soon. So when you do L stance, your body will be half facing, which means you have to strike over here because your knife hand still has to be on the chest line. And it can be done with the opposite hand, but it's usually done on the same side as the rear foot, which carries the most weight. So it's an obverse technique. And when you do the strike, your opposite hand will come in front of your shoulder. So the final position will be like this. And remember, the fingertips are eye level. So to practice this movement, relax your arms and wind up by raising your body, opening the arms and palms facing out slightly. And then as you drop, you execute the technique and twist both forearms sharply. So you expose the knife hand and the side fist will end up in front of your shoulder like this. Okay? So this technique is used for an opponent on your side front, standing fairly close. So practice this a few times, like that. And notice that I bring my shoulder back and slightly forward to jerk the abdomen to add a bit of mass, but it's a very, very slight movement. So avoid over twisting, also avoid just not moving the abdomen at all. You won't get as much power. Okay. So once you've got used to this motion, then you can do it as a spot technique from a parallel stance going into a walking stance. So you pivot your foot and balance on that leg, go slightly half facing in a neutral position, then you wind up as before and strike. Now make sure you breathe out as you finish the strike and fix your gaze in the direction of the target. So practice this as a fundamental exercise and do it on both sides. In 1-yard-tool, this technique is done 4 times and it always follows a twin forearm block. So it's done like this. Twin forearm block followed by a knife hand high inward strike. And they're both done in L stance, so there's no need to change the position of your feet for the second technique. So from this position, you need to relax the arms. The arms will drop very slightly into a neutral position. Then you wind up again for the second technique as we did earlier, and then strike as before. So practice this as a fundamental exercise, going to your left and to your right. I teach the knife hand high inward strike to my students once they get to 7th cup, yellow belt, green tag stage, so they can practice the technique and develop it by the time they get to green belt and use it in 1-yard-tool. Now there are other techniques that I need to show you before covering 1-yard-tool, so please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, so you can keep up to date with my releases of my Taekwondo lessons. See you next time. Goodbye.